Hey everybody, Heather here. Thanks for coming to color with me. Today we are going to be coloring this Some Odd Girl stamp called Thank You May. Isn't she cute? And she comes with the stamp and the sentiments too, so get extra bang for your buck. I will put a link to the card kit down in the description box along with all the other supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. Make sure to check out all the great stuff in the store. There's paper, embellishments, Ranger distressings, all kinds of great stuff. And always make sure to check out the clearance section because there is a ton of stuff in there waiting to go to a new home. Also, if you have a question, please leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer all questions. And if you could hit the like button, that would be fabulous. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to be a new subscriber. So I have already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. All right, so let's go ahead and start by outlining our image. And for that, I'm going to use W0. And I'm just going to start down here on her leg. And I'm going to work my way all the way around and back to the other side. And you can make your outline as fat or as skinny as you like. It's just for me to make the image look like it's popping up off the page a little bit instead of just being flat. I'm just going to go all the way around and back down to this leg. And I'm not going to go clear around her feet because I'm going to put some ground there for her to stand on. For the ground, let's use W3 and W1. I'm going to start with my W3, and let's go up here past her shoe just a little bit. And I want to kind of go out the other side, so I'm going to go straight across so I can kind of have a visual there. And then I just want to go away from her shoes a little bit. Do the same thing for this side. Next, I'm going to take my W1 and I'm going to go right over the top and pull out a little bit more. And you can go as far out as you would like. I'll bring it down this way just a little bit more. Maybe out here. Now I'm going to go back with my W3 and just add a little bit more shadows. Moving on to her skin, we're going to use E11, E21, E00, E000. For her cheeks, I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30. I'm going to start with E11, and I'm going to go down here on her legs. And let's go the little line right next to her skirt. And then for this back leg, I'm going to go down the outside. Just make me a skinny line there down to her shoe here. And then she's got some little lines for her knees there. I'm going to go ahead and give that just a little bit of color. And then same for this knee. And then because this leg is sticking up in the back, I'm going to go down the other side, the inside of her leg on this one. That. Next, I'm going to grab E21. I'm going to turn her a little bit here so I can flick a little bit better. And I want to lay down my color right on top, and pull it away from it just a little bit. And if I lay it sideways, I can flick my pen so that when I lay my pen down, I've got quite a bit of ink. And then as I flick my pen away from that line, my hand lifts up and it's skinnier out here. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Next we're going to go with E00. Work my way down, and I'm not worried that it's still got a line there because I'm going to come back a second time and add a little bit more color. And this is E000. I'm going to go fill this in a bit. And I left a little bit of white there on the edge. And now I'm going to go back with my E21, and I want to soften this just a little bit more. So we're going to go right down this side again. Still got quite a bit of a line from my E11 there. And same for this side. I'm going to grab E00. And E000 to fill it the rest of the way in. And I tend to use my last color to go over the entire section. And we'll go up here and we're going to do her arms. So again, I'm going to grab E11. And let's go underneath of her sweater. And then down the back side of her arm and down her fingers. I'm going to do the back side of her thumb just a little bit and maybe a couple of these lines on her fingers. And then for this side over here, she's got a little bit of her arm showing, so I'm going to try to be really careful with just the tip and bring it right down the inside and get her finger right there too. I'm going to go with E21. Let's add a little bit more. And then E00. I'm going to fill this side over here in. There's not much room left over there. E000 for the rest of her hand, but then I'm going to go back with my E21. I'll turn her a little bit here so I can flick a little bit better here on the side of her hand. And then E00. And then E000 to fill that in. Okay, and next let's go again with E11, and I'm going to go right next to her hair and up the inside of her neck, and then I want to add a little bit of this color up here underneath of her bangs. My pin's getting dry, I'm going to have to fill it up. And her eye, her hair doesn't go all the way, so I'm going to go over here a little bit. And I think I'll bring this line down next to her bangs just a tad. Next I'm going to grab E21. And let's flick away from her neck right here a little. And then I'm going to bring this color up the side of her face. And we're going to soften this line up here. And I'm going to bring this color down on this side of her face. And also, I forgot that I want to take my E11 and I want to give her a little bit of a nose shadow right here. Let's draw just a little bit of a shadow in there. And I want to soften that, so I'm going to take my E21 and just go over that a little bit. Next we have E00. And I'm not worried if I color over her eyebrow there, because I'm going to make it brown. So it's okay if you color that in. Okay, let's do, and then E000 to fill this in. And I'm not worried about the lines because I'm going to go over it again after I add some cheek color. Oh, and I better remember to get her ear right here too. So let's do R43. So let's go over on this side right underneath of her eye. And over here on this side. Then we're going to grab R20. And then R30. And then I'm going to go with E21. And I better add a little bit up here too. I've got quite a bit of a line right there. And E00 is next. I'll bring this color down there under her eye. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E000. And for her ear, let's do E21. Whoops, that's the wrong one. E21 in the inside. And then I'm just going to take E00 and fill it in. For her hair, let's use E77, E44, E34, and E30. I'm going to start with my E77. Let's go over here on this side and add just a little bit of shadows coming down next to her face and where her hair comes down back from behind. And same for this side. Just want to work my way all the way across. And go up here. This little section here is coming out from underneath of her bang, so I'm going to add some there. And where it comes down here underneath of her ear. And right here where it's behind her ear. And then for her top of her head, I'm just going to add a few streaks over here on this section. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to grab E44 and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to touch down on top of my last color and just bring my color down a little bit more. And I'm trying to be a little bit, I'm holding my pen more straight up and down so that my streaks can be a little thinner. I'll go up here and do the top. Next we're going to go with E34. Same thing, I'm just continuing adding some color all along the section. And working my way along to the top. And next we're going to do E30. So now I want to fill it the rest of the way in. Bring my color down here to the bottom. And along the top. And then after I have my last color in, I like to go back with my darkest color and add shadows again. So I'm going to grab E77. And I'm just going to go back and add a little bit more of my streaks in here. And she has really great hair. She's got some great lines and stuff on here for us. I also forgot to do her eyebrow right there, so I'm going to grab E44 real quick, and I'm just going to color that in. I didn't do any shading, just took my pen and gave it a little bit of color there. Okay, so for her eyes, we're going to use E23, YG93, and YG11. I'm going to start with my E23, and let's go up here and add some color right at the top. And I'm going to kind of I'm going to leave a little bit of white on the outside, but I'm going to come down next to the pupil. So again, up here at the top, and then come down next to the pupil, leaving a little bit of white. And next is YG93, and I'm going to go right over the top of that color, only this time I'm going to come out to the edge, covering up my white. And then YG11 to fill it in. And I want to make them a little brighter, so I'm going to go do it again. So I'm going to grab E23. And then YG93. And then YG11. Just to go over the entire thing. And when I stamped my girl, I didn't stamp the pupils very well. I didn't stamp as dark as I want, so I'm going to take my black 100 pen and just lightly brush over the center of those, just to take care of some of that white splotchiness I've got going on there. For her sweater, let's use BG1311 and G00. I'm going to start with my BG13, and I'm going to add some shadows. Let's go up here and add a little bit up here to the collar, and then she's got a little wrinkle right there that I'm going to put some color in. And then for the bow, I'm going to do the center, and she's got some lines. Same for these lines down here on her sweater. And this line. And then let's do where her hair's touching her shirt and her sleeve. Next I'm going to take BG11. I'm going to add some color right on top of that. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with G00. For her shirt and her shoes, let's use R08, R05, and R02. I'm going to start with my R08. I'm going to turn her a little bit here so I can flick a little bit better. I'm going to go right along the edge of her sweater and her hair right here. And then same for down here on the bottom of her shirt. I'm going to draw a line so I don't go outside the lines. And then I'm going to use that line to pull my ink off of, or to set my pen down on, so I don't have to worry about coloring her arm. And then I'm going to go with R05. And pull this color out a little bit more. And then R02. rest of the way. I'm going to go over it a second time, so I'm going to take R08. R05. I'm going to bring it over a little bit more this time. And then R02. I'm going to turn it this way just a little bit. Okay, I like that. So let's go down here and do her shoes. And again, I'm going to start with R08. So let's do right along the bottom here of the shoe. And then where it's touching her leg and along the bottom of this shoe. And then we're going to go with R05. And there's not much room on the shoes. So bring that around. And then R02. I'm going to take on this shoe, I'm going to take my R05 again. Add a little bit more color there. And then take my R02 and just go over the whole thing and blend it. For her skirt, let's use Y15, Y13, and Y11. I'm going to start with my Y15, and we're going to add some shadows. So let's go right up here underneath of her skirt. And then she's got some lines here already on her skirt that I'm just going to go down. And then for down here, she's got a little bit of a ruffle, so let's accent that. And here we can see the underside of her skirt. And we're going to go right down some of these lines and around like this. Next, you're going to add Y13. So I'm going to go right over the top of that glass color and just exaggerate my lines. And make them a little thicker. And then I'm going to fill it in with Y11. And I'll go like this. And then I want to make the shadows a little bit darker, so I'm going to take my Y15 again and just accentuate those lines a little bit more. And I'm going to get a couple of these little spaces here under her skirt. So there is our thank you May all colored up. Doesn't she look pretty? And again, here is the finished card. So I've added some Spica glitter pin to her hair. And other than that, I just kept it pretty simple so you could pop it in the mail and send it to a friend. And remember, this stamp set comes with the image and all three of these sentiments. And I can't remember if there was another sentiment with it or not, but it's a great deal. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.